Hey there everybody, my name is NGS, thank you for clicking on the video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my first impressions on the latest Digimon game to come out of Japan, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, available on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. Now this game is really interesting for a lot of reasons. First and foremost, there's been so much buzz. It's gained a lot of traction in the past couple of days. A lot of Digimon fans have come out of the woodwork. New, old, in some cases, closet Digimon fans. And they've been talking about this game. One thing I've noticed about the Digimon fanbase more than anything is that we're really the silent majority. For the longest time, the media has kind of stigmatized us as the fans that play second fiddle to another franchise that ends in Mon. Not gonna say anything. But whenever something new related to Digimon comes out, oh, we do not shut up about it. We get that shit trending on Twitter, bro. It happened last year for Digimon Adventure Tri, and this year we got Digimon Cyber Sleuth for PS4 and Vita. Unfortunately, even though we have all that hype, there really hasn't been much in the ways of reviews, first impressions from mainstream game sites, news publications, media outlets. And that's really disheartening because there's a lot riding on this game. Not only are a lot of fans skeptical about paying full price for this title, there really hasn't been a lot of press surrounding the game, and that's really sad because I'm just gonna get straight to the point. This game is good. This game is pretty freaking sweet. For a lot of people who are on the fence on whether or not they should pick this game up, this is the Digimon game that you've been waiting for. Whether you're a new fan of the series who just got into it, whether you're a hardcore fan who's never played the games, whether you're a Digimon fanatic who plays every single game out there, you've already imported this game, you're just watching to see what this random black on the internet has to say about it to see if it lines up with your personal opinions. Hello. This game is very good. Now, I want to talk about the stigma that surrounds a lot of anime games, particularly licensed games, and it comes back to whether or not you should pay full price. Should you buy this game day one? Because as history has shown, a lot of these games are pretty much soulless cash grabs. They're made because they have access to the license. They're going to spend as little time as they can on this game, a little amount of resources, a little budget, but they're trying to maximize off of a popular name. But every now and then we do get a rare gem like a Batman Arkham Asylum or a Dragon Ball Budokai 3 or a Naruto Ultimate Ninja that really take advantage of the hardware that show that these developers actually give a damn about the game that they're making. And you can add Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth to those ranks. This game, heart, soul, to its core, is a game made by fans for fans. This thing is just brimming with all kinds of Digimon goodness. And we're going to get into a lot of those here since I've played 20 hours of the game. First and foremost, for those who are wondering about the gameplay of the title, it plays like a traditional turn-based Japanese RPG. It's actually developed by the guys who did Wild Arms. Media Vision, I believe, is their name. So, at its core, it plays like a regular turn-based RPG. You have a party of 3 Digimon that are out on the field versus your opponent's Digimon. And it goes turn by turn, your Digimon versus their Digimon, and then vice versa. And there's a lot of interesting things that go on with the battle system. It's really not too deep in the sense that you got some crazy stuff going on that you see in like some of these more really intricate and crazy RPGs. But it's good enough to the point where it's not simplistic. It's easy, and you can learn a lot about it. So first and foremost, it's not just, you attack with your regular attack, and then you can have a certain Digimon attack that's used for show. Not really. Each of the Digimon's attacks has a certain elemental attribute to it. So like, Japanese RPGs, certain enemies are going to be weaker to one attack than others. Certain ones are not going to take damage whatsoever, and you may have to use some debuffs on them, or you may have to debuff some of your characters. So in that respect, if you're expecting a really simplistic RPG, it's really not like that. You have to prioritize and strategize. You can't just use one Digimon to one-hit kill everybody. And what's really cool is that even though you have a party of 3 Digimon, you have access to more with you at a certain time. I think you can build up your reserve to carry 9 characters, something like that. So altogether, it's somewhere between the realm of 10 to 12 characters. And you can swap out any of those Digimon at any time on the field when you're in battle too. So that's pretty awesome. But the gameplay battle system is really not what I wanted to focus on this review. I just wanted to let you guys know that. I want to talk about the story of this game. Like I mentioned earlier, whether you're a new fan of Digimon or old fan of Digimon, this game is going to be for you because it has an original story. You don't need to watch any of the Digimon anime to get a grasp of what's going on here. It's original story featuring original characters. You can play as one of the two protagonists up here. You have the female right there and the male right there. Unfortunately, they're not customizable. I know that's something a lot of people like to do in their RPGs, but come on, guys. This is a game focused on the Digimon, so you're gonna want to play with the Digimon and focus on them as opposed to what your character looks like, because your character is inconsequential. But yeah, it's just worth pointing out. And in this game, the story is definitely not what I expected. There's a meme that's been going around on the internet. You might have seen it if you have me on Facebook. But there's this meme, like, you know how it's the whole what I purchased, what I expected, and what I got. Basically, a lot of people who are buying this game thinking it's Pokemon, but what they're getting is this weird hybrid between Summer Wars and Persona 4 and Ecchi and Gurren Lagann. It's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate to describe the story in this game. First and foremost, this game is waifu filled like no tomorrow. There's so many damn females in this game that it's kind of scary. I'm just trying to wonder, like, where the hell's the testosterone, bro? I mean, I'm a dude, right? I like to see other dudes. I didn't think this through, did I? I'm a dude. I like to see other dudes, right? And there's just all these females in there, and I'm just like, wow, there's a lot of females in this game. And when I say that this is a Digimon game for adults, yeah, some of these females be wearing some interesting costumes, to say the least. One of the producers of the game actually said, yeah, we're making this with adults of the old franchise in mind. And one of the first characters that you meet in the game, I apologize for the lighting, this blonde chick right there, yeah, she's pretty interesting, to say the least. And I want to compliment the writing that goes into this game's story. I don't know who in the world translated this, but they need an award. This game is so up to date with modern lingo and culture. For Christ's sake, they mentioned bae. Bae, B-A-E, like Ray is bae. Of course she's bae. They mention that in this game, and they have a lot of weird references to things in pop culture and internet lingo and stuff. It's hilarious. Like, if you were playing a Digimon game in modern day culture, this is what it would be. So the story of this game is something that's interesting, to say the least. I'm not really going to get into spoiler territory, but you're basically trying to solve this mystery. You are a cyber sleuth detective, and you work for this blonde-haired chick, Kyoko, and you're just trying to figure out what is going on with here. And what I really like about it is that, you know, like I mentioned, this is a game for new fans and old fans. You could just jump into this and not have to worry about knowing anything about Digimon, from Season 1 to Season 2 to the GOAT that is Digimon Tamers, best series of all time. You don't have to know anything about that because it just jumps you in here and it assumes that you know nothing. I mean, for Christ's sake, these people think that the humans, they think that Digimon are a myth. They think that Digimon are just programs. They have no concept of the digital world. So it's just like, oh my god, this is a perfect jumping on point for new fans in the series because you actually learn about this stuff. So while it is cool, it's a great story to introduce people, it suffers from traditional JRPG slowness. The first couple of hours, mainly the first 10 or so hours, are really a drag. You're really not going to be doing too much in terms of gameplay. I mean, I was playing this on stream, and even a lot of people in the chat were noticing that there's a lot of dialogue and exposition, and they're really trying to set this story up. And from what I've played, it's getting kind of deep. But for those who are worried about like the gameplay and wanting to get into it, you might be worried because the story kind of gets in your way. Sometimes you just want to just say, F the story, go in here, raise your Digimon, just go crazy with that. But the story is just always in your face about it, and there's a lot of dialogue. And it's good in the case that, you know, it's trying to get you involved in this deeper story, but it's bad in the sense that, you know why I'm here. I just want to play with my damn Digimon. So in the case of the story, it's good, but it's just like, let me play with my damn Digimon, come on now. Now, speaking of the Digimon, the highlight of this game and what I recommend more than anything, they know how to create a great system. So first and foremost, when you start the game, you have a choice of picking 3 partner Digimon. You can either pick from Palmon, Terriermon, or this fucker right here, Haguramon, I think that's what his name is. Of course, you know me, I love my Digimon tamers, so I went with Terriermon, best Digimon. And yeah, so I picked Terriermon, and throughout the course of the game, I was always wondering to myself, how are they going to handle you getting more Digimon? The common thing that a lot of people expect is, oh, you're probably going to have to capture them in the wild, like Pokemon, right? No, it's not really like that. Basically, when you encounter Digimon in the wild, you look, I was doing a damn Naruto hand sign, wasn't I? You basically have this percentage meter that pops up. And every time you encounter Digimon, 20% gets added. Once you get to 100%, once you've encountered that Digimon a certain amount of times, you are able to digitize that Digimon in your lab. One thing I do recommend for those who want to get the best stats out of their Digimon, don't digitize when you hit 100%. Wait until you encounter that Digimon to the point where it becomes 200%, because that's the best possible Digimon that you can get. It'll have the best stats available. So you digitize your Digimon from that. And once you get the Digimon, it's yours to use however you see fit. You can train it in battle. You can put it in a farm and raise it to do certain things, which I'll touch on in a second. But I really love how they handle the Digimon in this game, because that's the main reason I'm playing this. Like, one of the things I was skeptical on is, if they aren't going to handle this Digimon system really well, I'm going to lose my interest in the game. Story, what have you, Digimon is the most important part in how you interact with them. But thankfully, they've made it so addictive that I just want to go out there and revisit all the areas I've been just to see if I can encounter new Digimon. And that's the best part about this game, just the drive to go and find your favorite Digimon. Like, I love Digimon Tamer, so I'm trying to get Terriermon, Guilmon, and Renamon in my squad and digivolve them to their max forms. And yes, I did say digivolve. You can digivolve your Digimon all the way up to their max forms. Like, you've seen stuff in the anime series, you can do that as well. The only thing I don't think they do is, I don't think they do the burst modes from Digimon Data Squad. That's the one thing they're not going to do. But they have everything else. They have crazy Digimon evolution trees. You can warp Digivolve. You can do some crazy stuff like here. I mean, look at that. Classic Digimon fans will know who this guy is. Well, if you've seen Season 2. And again, I apologize for it not focusing, but you know who that is. So I love the way they handle that, because it's always getting me to explore more, because I want to see more of the Digimon. And, like other evolution video games, you have a choice on whether or not you can max out your Digimon or evolve them immediately. If you max them out to the max level, you get them at the best stats and they learn potentially new skills. Or you can just evolve them into different Digimon. And what's really cool about this is that you can de-digivolve your Digimon. So let's say, for example, I have Koromon, right? Koromon can digivolve into Agumon, but he can also digivolve into Toy Agumon and a bunch of different Digimon. That's one thing I think the anime didn't really do a good job at detailing. They didn't detail that each Digimon has a different evolution tree, so they can digivolve into different Digimon. So Koromon could digivolve to Agumon, but then Agumon could digivolve to something different than Greymon. He can digivolve into Geo Greymon. He can digivolve into so many different Digimon. So that's the best part about it. Don't be worried that you see a Digimon in the wild and you have to capture their, quote, infant form. You can digivolve any Digimon into anyone in that tree. But one thing you got to worry about is that certain evolution trees are locked, and it requires you interacting with the Digimon. So let's say, for example, I wanted to digivolve Agumon into Greymon. It would say the level requirements, like you have to be level 15, got that, HP at a level 400, got that, but it would also say camaraderie at 85%. Camaraderie is essentially you interacting with your Digimon, so that's when you're in the wild and you're attacking Digimon. You're basically growing together. You're building up your social link, as you would say. And once it gets to a higher point, you can access more of the Digimon evolution tree. So it's really cool. It encourages you swapping out members of your party to access different Digimon evolutions. And like I said, that's the one thing I love about it more than anything. I want to be able to access different evolution trees. So if you're interested in that, the game is worth playing alone for that perspective. They also have this other thing called the Digimon Farm. In the Digimon Farm, it's basically like the Chow Garden from Sonic Adventure, where you can put your Digimon in there, you can raise them, they get levels, you can have them farm for different items, you can have them expand the island, you can have them do a lot of things in standby. And that's what I really do love. I love a lot of things about this game, as you couldn't tell. I love how I love how the Digimon in the farm interact with you when you're not training them. Basically, you would think that, okay, I put them in the farm, I come back in like 2 hours and they've leveled up 2 or 3, right? No, like I said, this game mixes in things like Summer Wars and Persona 4s. Y'all remember how text messaging was a big part of Summer Wars and Oz and stuff? Yeah, there's this thing called the Digiline, and basically your Digimon text message you. And I'm not even joking. There's talking about some pretty funny stuff like, check this out. I was text messaging Palmon. She's just like, is it true that you tried to confess to your third grade crush and she turned you down? And I'm just like, yo, Palmon's throwing all types of shade here. And it gets to some other stuff, like if you have a really good relationship with the Digimon, they'll occasionally send you a gift and have you go back to the Digifarm. But this Digiline thing is just so funny. I don't really think it holds major benefits. Maybe it does stat boosting, and I did get a trophy for replying to over 30 Digiline messages. That's how fun these things are. But it's something nice to do. I mean, the responses are obviously automated, and certain times you can choose one of the other ones, but it's so freaking hilarious just interacting with your Digimon. It always gets me thinking, okay, you can come into the squad. You've earned a night out of the farm. Like, for example, I have Geo Greymon in the farm. He's my leader. And he's like, yo, man, I'm just keeping 100% with you. I'm really not feeling any of these other Digimon here. And I'm just like, okay, come on, Geo Greymon. You gotta do what you gotta do, bro. Just take the time to interact with them. It's so pointless, but it's hilarious at the same time. Other than that, the way things are structured in the main story, basically you have these main missions that are part of the detective agency. Since you're a cyber sleuth, you have your main quest up there, but you also have side quests that are somewhat related to the story, but really not. They do play a somewhat of a like overall role in the grand scheme of things, but not to your main objective at hand. And some of those are really interesting because they do shine light on some of the things that are happening in the world and things that are happening with certain characters. I mean, the story in this game can get kind of dark. It's like I said, a game made with adults in mind. Not to say that Digimon was a kid franchise, but I mean, if you watch Digimon Tamers, you know that thing is dark. But a lot of things happen are pretty mature, as expected. And yeah, there's just a lot to love in Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. You know, I'm 20 hours in, and I seriously just want to play this game right now, but I wanted to do a first impressions to let y'all know. This is the Digimon game that I have no problem spending full price on. This is something that if you're a fan of Digimon and you just love the thrill of finding your favorite Digimon and digivolving them just to see all the Digimon out there and get the best skills possible, then pick this game up, because it is for you. This is the game that I, as a fan of the series, as a fanboy, I am so happy that it came out over here in the States. And hopefully this thing sells well enough that we get more games in the series. They have another game coming out, not a sequel to this, but it's another Digimon World game called Digimon World Next Order. It comes out in Japan next month, and hopefully if the sales of this are good enough, we're going to get a North American localization for that. I'm just hoping, I'm praying, because this game is freaking awesome, and I'm loving what I'm playing so far. As far as complaints, like I said, the way the story kind of drags is, you know, typical JRPG fare, unfortunately. And I guess you can say as far as it being a PlayStation 4 game, it's really not taking advantage of the hardware. Like, let's just be honest here. This was a game that was on Vita, and bringing it over to the PS4, they were going to try to do it lowest common denominator, so just doing what they can. It does look pretty. The Digimon look great. The frame rate is rock solid. There's no issue whatsoever. But some of the things in the environment, like they're pretty bland. You can't access all parts of the environment. I mean, heck, when you're going down a linear path, they just have little tiny divulging paths that you can access, and that's basically it. And like I said, it was a Vita game originally, so it's what you expect here. I wish they would have done more with the PlayStation 4 version, but it looks good, it runs well, there's no issues whatsoever. And the PlayStation 4 version, I don't know if the Vita does, but it has a online component. And in the online component, you're able to face off against people with your different Digimon teams. However, I did hear from some people who were in the live stream that the online is not lobby based, it's just randoms, which is very unfortunate. I hope they fix that in the patch, because that's pretty disappointing. If I am wrong, you can comment down below and let me know. I should hope so, because I would love to battle other people with my Digimon. But yeah, as far as it being just a really awesome Digimon game, it is. It excels so freaking much. There's really nothing negative I complain about outside of the fact that it was limited by the PlayStation Vita, and the story's kind of dragging on. But hey, 20 minutes in, man. 20 minutes in, and I hope I gave you guys a good impressions on this game. I'm gonna just jump back straight to it and probably do a review towards the end. Anyway, from me to you for now, I'm NGS signing out, and like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace.